Hey guys, it is Jordan Mulligan from the Mulligan Brothers, and today's interview highlight is with Ben Francis, and he's talking about having people surround you with the same core values as you, which is super important. Neve behind the camera right now, she is on my team. She has the same core values as me, the same company values, and that is why we work together so well. Before we jump into the highlight, I just want to say a massive shout out to mulliganbrothers.com. We can now buy the Not a Journal, and doing that helps support these projects. But first of all, let's jump into the video. This last weekend, we spoke to Rob Kearney, World's Strongest Gay, who you guys have now taken on as an athlete. His story is amazing, but like, how important is it for you to sort of sponsor athletes like that who are bigger than the sport as well, and it's like they're doing stuff outside of the sport?
So Rob's amazing because, again, he's a great person anyway. He's a great human being, which is powerful, and he's going back to that cultural element for us. That's really important. But yeah, I'm not sure about individuals being bigger than the sport. I mean, maybe some people are, I'm not really sure. But for me, the way that we want to align ourselves with others that have the same core values and core vision, and essentially want to do the same thing, right? And I think Rob's a great example of someone that is inspiring people in so many ways to improve themselves, again, physically and mentally. I think that's so powerful. But so do a lot of the other Gymshark athletes, so do all the other Gymshark athletes. And I think that's the other reason why there are athletes that Gymshark has worked with since day one for 8 years. There are very few brands that that can confidently and comfortably say that they have athletes they have worked with for 100% of their lifetime. And there are very few people that will join onto Gymshark and then move on. And that's because we hire really slowly. We're really careful about the people that we bring onto the brand. And ultimately, because we have the same core vision and ethos, I think the partnerships work incredibly well.
What drives you now?
What drives me now? To be honest, again, it's just having as big an impact as possible. Like, going back to transparency, being completely transparent and candid. I'm financially, I'm set, I'm fine, I'm beyond my wildest dreams as a kid growing up in the West Midlands. Like, this doesn't happen to people like me. So for me now, I'm really focused on, one, being the best that I can possibly be, going back to Jordan Peterson. I want to, grow myself and be as brilliant as I can be, but equally I want Gymshark to inspire as many people as possible. That's really important to me. And that's about improvement both physically and mentally as well. Because if you go back to my initial day one transformation, that was both mental and physical. And I think people underestimate the mental benefits of going to the gym.
Life, business, what is the biggest lesson you've learned so far?
I don't know if it's a lesson, but there's always one word that always sticks with me and has throughout. And that word is courage, is that little things take courage, but also big leaps take courage. And I think that's something that needs to be spoken about a little bit more, because if I even go back to Gymshark's journey as a company or on my own, every decision that we've made with courage, and we've backed ourselves. And I think that's really important.
Looking back through the whole journey, taking a step back, what's the sort of things that run through your mind?
So this is funny. So after we signed the deal, driving home, I had that moment where it was like in a flash. I remember walking home from the train station after a day at uni, coming up with the idea to buy the Gymshark domain and come up with the Gymshark, open the Gymshark website. I remember it was quite a long walk. I remember then later on walking, thinking, okay, there's no money that's going to be taken out of this business because we're going to do it for this. I remember being at the first body power event that we ever did, seeing the first ever stringer vest that I'd seen in real life. I remember going off and buying a cheaper £5.99 version off Amazon because it was the cheapest way I could get my hand on a stringer. I don't know, it's like this huge flash of, I remember doing our first events, the doors opening and us being flooded. I remember getting back to the unit after that and seeing my dad and brother, because they were packaging up the orders whilst we were at the event. Opening up this HQ for the first time and seeing, I think it was 100 or 150 people walk in for the first time and seeing the buzz on their faces, the Gymshark events and all the amazing people that I've met. It's like this huge just flash of everything that's happened in 8 years in like a split second. So yeah, it's just crazy to look back.
From when you were sort of getting into it, the young kid growing up where you were, what's your advice to that guy now?
What would my advice be to me if I was as a kid? To be honest, it would be just pursue whatever you find interesting at the time. So again, all the different things that I've did, all the 7 failures previously, that's the reason that Gymshark is allowed to exist today. That's the reason that I and we are where we are today, is because of the app that failed, or the website that crashed, or the social network that had an error in the code, so it was just fucked from day one, sort of thing. All those things led to Gymshark. So I really think, I would just say to myself as a kid, just whatever you're passionate about, just create and just go, because, you know, one day down that meandering path, you'll end up finding something special that just happened to be the thing that everyone wanted in that moment, that just happened to be perfectly suited to the skill set that you have. So yeah, just keep trying.
Was it worth it? The pizza, was it all worth it?
Oh, 100%. It was so worth it. And by the way, like, this is the thing, I enjoyed working at pizza. It was fucking cool. I met great people. I got to eat a free pizza every day. That was so cool. There was never a point where I was like, oh, I hate this. Like, I enjoyed it. And I love what I do now, and I feel like I've got the best job in the world now. Honestly, I've loved every second of it, the good times and the bad times. It's easy for me to say now, but I don't think the good times are as good if you don't have the crap times as well. So yeah, it's brilliant. Got the best job in the world.
Lastly, it's just some words. It's not quick fire. It's just whatever comes to your mind when you say it. Just expand on it.
Yeah.
Just 6 or 7 words. Purpose.
Meaning. That's the first word I thought then. Yeah, for me, purpose gives meaning. And I love having a purpose, a wider overarching purpose that does make any of those small road bumps seem insignificant.
Sacrifice.
I don't know. That's a funny one. Because to me, I feel like when you do make sacrifice, 99% of the sacrifices that you make are for almost like expedient things that are short-term over long-term. I've never worked towards something that's a true long-term goal and felt, oh, I'm making so many sacrifices here, because the benefit is so, the pros outweigh the cons. Yeah. I
love what you say about sacrifice, that it didn't feel like sacrifice because it was working towards something, so it never felt like, I think that's right.
And that's not to say, right, like, there was obviously times I hated it. So like I said, freezing cold, cleaning off screens. In that moment, did I want to be there? No. But I knew that it was working towards something greater.
Mindset.
Mindset. So mindset's a funny one. Because, so as a kid, so my dad worked away a lot. Like, there were certain years he'd be away for like 6 months of the year, right? But like I said, I would play sport, and he would take me to sport a lot. And he would never really talk to me about like fitness or speed or running. But the thing he would always drill into me for as long as I can remember was mindset. And he would always talk about, you have to be strong mentally almost before you're strong physically. So mindset's a funny one. It's something that I feel like it's been a part of my life for forever. I think in many ways, mindset can solve everything, right? Even the most terrible of problems, with the right mindset, can be dealt with well. But yeah, mindset's been something that I've been very consciously aware of for my entire life.
Do you remember any of those sort of moments, like in particular, where he'd chat to you?
Yeah, I remember. I think I was playing football, and I can't remember. Basically, I was playing football, did something wrong, and then some guy came up to me, a coach, and sort of gave me some advice. And then I went and told him, and I was like, I don't really agree with this advice that I've been given. And he said, listen to the advice, you know, take it on board, but ultimately it's up to you as to what you do, you know, apply to your game and what you don't. Get advice, listen to it, be polite, absorb it, but ultimately it's up to you what you apply. And I think that's really important, because I mean, I get tons of advice and not all of it's good. Much of it is good, but not all of it's good. So yeah, I think it's important that you can just apply what makes sense to you.
I think one thing that everyone is like talking about at the moment, you're a billionaire. That's what everyone's saying. Billionaire, billionaire. Entrepreneur plastered all over the place. So I think for me, it'd be really interesting to hear your opinion on the word entrepreneur.
Oh God. I'll admit, up until about a year ago, I hated that word. I absolutely hate it. Even to this day, I do cringe, albeit I do think it's become a bigger thing, and I would never really, again, up until very lately, describe myself in any way as an entrepreneur. And if anyone did, it would pain me to hear it. It'd be awkward. But now I understand, having watched probably more videos like Gary Vee and things like that, and even Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, there was a video I watched a while ago where he'd sort of talk about the mindset or the mentality of an entrepreneur and how it's similar to, I think he said, like an artist, which was fascinating to me. So now I think the term has more validity. But yeah, I don't really know, to be honest.
What turns you off about the word?
I feel like I used to always think about those proper just entrepreneurs who would be like a CEO of, I don't know, a business that has no employees. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like for me, a CEO is a prestigious title that you have to earn, right? I mean, I'm not a CEO. Hopefully, I'd love one day to be a CEO. I'm not a chief exec. And I just felt like it would always have connotations to those people that would be more around being seen as an entrepreneur than being an entrepreneur, which I think led to a lot of probably legitimate entrepreneurs almost not calling themselves that. So, yeah, I don't know. Albeit, I do think it's getting better now, and I think there's more validity in it now.
Failure.
I love failure. So that's probably another thing that I haven't spoken about in this. I'm very, and I think we at Gymshark are actually getting really good at failing. Like, we are really good, and there's definitely not a feeling of negativity around failure, because again, it's an opportunity to learn, and I think we embrace failure. And I think even in my career, going back to those 7 failures prior to Gymshark, yeah, I've always enjoyed and embraced failure, and I think that's important too.
Hard work.
What's that saying? Is it hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, I think? I think Steve, our chief exec, talks about that. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to work hard, right, in whatever that you do, and if you don't, then I just don't think you'll get to where you want to be. Again, I hold myself incredibly accountable, and I think everyone here works ridiculously hard. It's massive.
Last one, Gymshark.
Wow. Well, obviously, when you say Gymshark, I didn't expect that. I just think of all the mental times we've had, and all the incredible opportunities that we've got in the future. Yeah, I think of all the events that we've done. I think of all the incredible people that I've met, and just the amazing journey that we've been on.
And there we go, guys. Another amazing video from Ben Francis. And for me, the idea at Gymshark and how they've created this culture is exactly what we're trying to do here at Mulligan Brothers. And it's a massive, massive inspiration to me. So yeah, thank you to Ben for giving us his time. Thank you to you guys for supporting us. Oh yeah, today's video is sponsored by mulliganbrothers.com, where you can now buy the Not a Journal. The link is in the description if you want to go buy one. And there's also the Inspire Change t-shirts there as well. This support that we've had from you guys recently means that we can fulfill our mission of inspiring change around the world through our films. And we have some feature documentaries coming out this year, hopefully to land on Netflix. And it's all thank you to you guys. So yeah, we're blessed, and we hope that we are returning the gift as many ways as possible through our content. So thank you. If you want to see more behind the scenes of what I get up to, go follow me on Instagram at Jordan Mulligan Brother. Say hello, and I'll try and get back to you. And yeah, have a blessed and productive day. Go inspire some change, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.